Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome to the Brian's Mobile One channel. We do auto repair videos around here, and on Wednesdays I oftentimes do something that's Wild Card Wednesday. In my line of work, I fix all kinds of stuff, and I find a lot of crossovers. I've been called a Renaissance man in that I do a lot of different things. I'm a jack of all trades and a master of one, auto repair. And in this video we're going to be repairing a tripod, but I'm going to use some principles that can be applied in the automotive field. Ideally, I like to fix things factory, do things so that they are exactly the way that they're supposed to be. But we do a little off-roading around here now and then. I do fabrication modifications to tools and make them work better for a particular job. That's sacrilege in some circles, but I do what works best. And in this video I'm going to be repairing, as I said, a tripod. My first attempt failed, but the second attempt I'm more proud of because it turned out solid. I'm going to share that with you now, and as I said, you can apply this to different things in the automotive trade. Pot metal is found on cars just as it's found in the construction site. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Brian's Mobile One.
So this is a tripod for a laser. It's the kind that you use for construction to make sure that you got your grading and everything just right. I borrowed this from a friend, and when I borrowed it, I noticed it was broken. I called him up. I said, hey, I'm so sorry. I broke your thing. I don't know how I did it, but it's broken now. He's like, no, it's not you. It was already like that when you got it. There's this little piece right here. So anyway, I epoxied this using JB Weld, and it held kind of okay. You can see a little bit of the remnants of that. I got most of it all off, but it just basically snapped off again in short order. So what I wanted to do was I was going to get a bolt and then thread the bolt in and use the bolt for the pivot, but there's not a lot of extra material to make that happen. So I did the next best thing. I've got a whole bunch of these long M6x1 bolts. I put this in the vise and drilled through it first, and then before cleaning any of this up or buzzing it to have fresh metal, I had it against this, and I put this in the vise, held this on there best I could, and then I used it kind of like a Craig jig, how you've got a little thing that guides the drill bit. So I'm holding on to this thing by just a nub, but I was able to drill it through. I wanted to err on the side of caution and have it go this way and not stick out that way, and ultimately that's what happened. You can see where the threads go into here. So the bolt, I had to take the end of it down, and I had to make this shorter by how much that is. You see it sticks out by just that much. So after I JB weld this bolt in there and it's all tightened in, I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm just going to buzz the leftover off. I can take this little cup and it'll fit over it just fine. If I do it now, it won't. I just tapped it, and the bolt's not threaded all the way, so I just thread this through. And this isn't aluminum that I can tell. I think it's just some kind of weird pot metal. It's not steel, so it kind of leaves you lacking in some options. You can see where I've ground this and roughed it up so that I can cover it in JB Weld and get it to hold good. It doesn't want to go straight, but you line it up with the socket, it gets compliant. There we go. It wants to just wander off into oblivion. If you get really guided in, it does fine. So I'm going to cover in between with JB Weld. I'm going to cover the threads and everything in there with JB Weld, just the slow setting stuff, none of the quick stuff. Just want it really thin and just to get into everywhere. So this is actually pretty decent with just a bolt, but it's got a little bit of rattle room, and you can take that up, like I say, by using the JB Weld. So I don't know if I have room in the hole. Oh, there we go. See, that's actually pretty decent right there. But if you take this, you can see that it sticks out just a little too far by just whatever that is for the hexagon. See, the gap there is the same as the gap right here. Anyway, this should be really good and strong. I don't even have it JB welded, and it already holds pretty good. And like I say, when I fill that, it's like when you glass bed a rifle, you get all of the gaps taken out. It really does good. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a fun repair, and I just posted a quick video of it. So one of these things, like, how do you fix that? If I had that brazing rod to go around it, I'd have done that. If I don't have it, I think that probably would have broken even too. It's just so fun that you can see the bolt where it comes through here. I was punching through, there's a bunch of air bubbles in there, and then when I hit that, the filing's cleaned out a lot easier too. You know that you've got a lot of JB Weld that you're going through when you buy it in the big things like this. I'll leave a link in the description for this stuff, but we basically mix it two parts. This is the metal, and then this is a hardener, steel hardener. My biggest regret was not doing this right the first time. My second biggest regret is that it takes so long to do, you know, to get this to hold like this. I'm thinking it probably would have been better to just replace it, but I have no idea where to buy that piece that broke. All I know is that I returned things better than when I bought it, and that's what I'm doing. So when you're mixing this stuff, you can do the swirl maneuver here. Just kind of get everything together, get it somewhat homogeneous, and then just start folding it. Ideally, you do not want to do this on cardboard. Whether it's Bondo or epoxy or whatever, because cardboard actually absorbs some of the lighter weight chemicals that are part of this, and with those leached into the cardboard, they're not in the epoxy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stuff and just put it in and on everything. Twist this down in here. You can see it's catching on the threads, and that's all fine and good. That's what we like. So I'm going to put it all over this for when it goes through. Things should be pretty strong. It should be stronger than the other ones when I'm done. In theory, I don't know. Haven't done a whole lot with this. You know, bolting pot metal back together. Yeah, get her done. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied with the way that looks. Go ahead and get this started here. I just want to pack it into every little nook and cranny so that it doesn't have any weakness to it. Should be wearing gloves, huh? I'm going to drive this home so I can get that to stay put. Man, that's good. I'm just going to glob it up like nobody's business. Stuff's not too terrible to grind. It's not like Bondo with too much hardener when you're using sandpaper. Dude, this is going to be strong. I do not think we're going to have any kind of problem with this. Alright, well that's it. I'm going to let this tack up, and then take a pocket knife or a razor blade, just kind of scrape that off, get it to where this will fit on it again, so it looks like this. And then cut the end of the bolt off. It's not going anywhere, it's epoxied in. Just trying to make one good solid piece. Well, it's the next morning. This is the way it turned out. It looks pretty slick. I had to back this in and out while it was still moist, but this stuff is hard now. If you compare, you can see that this one goes on just about all the way. Put it on this side. It's probably still a little hot from machining. It goes on just about all the way. I think that's going to be a good, strong, solid repair with that bolt all the way in back to here. That's better. That's a good repair. That's going to hold. Try the cap fitment on it. Goes all the way to the end. Just buzz that down a little bit. You can see that's the washer portion of the bolt. It's a little bit crooked because the bolt's just a little bit crooked. It had to be able to miss this way and not create a weakness being too thin here. That thing's strong. That'll hold up great. It was broken when I borrowed it, but I always return stuff better than I got it. So I'm really happy that I was able to do that here.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe.